If you've been following this channel for any time, you know how much trouble I had operating my crappy old Fiat Punto earlier. Now this is about to change because we just picked up this wonderful piece of Japanese engineering. In this video, I'm going to show you how the buying process goes, why we bought this one, and much more. I do believe that any car can be operated for basically indefinitely as long as you keep it updated and maintained properly. Now the problem with all my previous cars was that I bought them used and all the previous owners have neglected them, so it was up to me to do all the maintenance that the previous owners have skipped. And even if I did that, I would only still have a crappy Fiat Punto. It makes much more sense to buy a car that is still relatively new, but is not completely new because of the value. Cars don't lose their value in a linear way. They lose more in the first couple of years of their life. So if you want to buy a car that is still relatively new, but you get a lot of car for your money, then it's best to look for the part of the chart where it flattens out. And that's usually between the ages of 5 and 7. And we've been quite fortunate and quite lucky to find this one, which is a little over 5 years old and has a little more than 100,000 kilometers on the clock, means it's just out of warranty. So all the previous maintenance has been done, and if I can keep up with the maintenance, then it's going to be a great car for the next 200,000 kilometers, 10 years or something like that. So as for the process of buying the car, it's relatively simple and relatively straightforward. We bought this from a dealership with the second owners, and it's the same dealership that sold it new and the dealership that did the maintenance for it for the first 5 years. So that's pretty good. But as for the search, we used the website bilbasen.dk. We narrowed it down to the model previously, and so we looked at multiple dealerships and had a short list of the cars that we would like to check. We also researched the dealerships on Trustpilot. We checked a few cars. Of course, me having previously owned a lot of crappy cars, I had a good idea what a crappy car is like and what to have instead. One of our friends is like a Mazda fanatic, so he knows everything about Mazda 3s, Mazda 6s, and another one of our friends is an actual mechanic that is servicing all of my cars. So when we found cars that looked good, we had them on the phone, and we also had them have a look at the cars. In the same price range as this one, there have been a few that were crap, and then this one, apart from a few scratches on the surface, has been in quite good condition from the inside and also mechanically. This one is an automatic, which is a minority in Europe. Most of the cars that we drive are manuals, so this is a new thing for me. Of course, I've driven automatics before, but never owned an automatic before. So if you find a car that you would like to take for a test drive, you show up at the dealership. It makes sense to call them beforehand to make sure that they have the car still on stock, and then they are going to scan your driver's license and they give you the keys. They don't come with you. That's also a difference that we've had from Hungary. In Hungary, they always come with you. They want to make sure that you don't steal the car. Here, they kind of trust you. They know your CPR, they know where you live, and they have your driver's license. So you can take it, wherever you want without being influenced by a sales guy. So why did we get a Mazda? All the maintenance people that I've talked to have told me to buy a Japanese petrol car. Like Honda, Toyota obviously, and also Mazda is known for their reliability. We kind of liked the brand of Mazda, and then we narrowed it down to the model of the Mazda 3, which this is, and also the engine, because this one has a 2-liter naturally aspirated petrol engine, which are known for their reliability. This is a 2017 model, made in 2018, so it has cruise control but no lane hold assist, and it has AC, which the Fiat, they don't have anymore. If you decide you want to buy it, then of course you can try to bargain. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But if you come up with a decision, then you either pay cash, which we couldn't, or you can talk about financing the car. It's a good idea to get quotes before showing up at the dealership so that you know kind of where the market level is. Of course, the dealership is going to offer you a financing option so that you need to know where this is in comparison to the market. We have tried to do that. We could get an offer from Danske Bank and from Santander. I know other people that use Santander as a financing partner. They have the higher interest rates compared to the others, but they would pretty much finance any car as long as you pay up. Danske Bank, on the other hand, is more problematic. They would only finance a car that's maximum 10 years old when the financing is over. So that's kind of limiting as to what they would do. Another bank we tried to contact is Nordea, but Nordea wouldn't talk to us unless we are already customers of Nordea, which just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I'm not going to take my banking to a bank just to get an offer for a financing, but that's I guess what they do. The dealership offered us a good rate on the loan, and that rate was through a partner of theirs, Mazda Financing, which is in partnership with Nordea. So in the end, it's actually Nordea that is carrying our loan, even though they didn't want to because we weren't their customers originally. But anyway, Nordea ended up financing this car until the age of 12, so it's 5.5 now. We have 6.5 on the lease, and with that we pay a little bit more than 2,000 kronas per month, which I find to be manageable and a fair amount. Before you pick up the car, dealerships usually arrange an inspection of the car, so that is the mandatory inspection that cars have to go through every 2 years. So when you buy it, you're good for 2 years, you don't have to worry about that. Also, most car dealerships, if they are legit, they offer you some kind of warranty with the car. It can be half year, 1 year, it can be either a full warranty, or it could be warranty for the engine and transmission. These are kind of the usual terms that they offer. We have one of those options. And I actually have to say I'm quite happy with that. As for what options expats have for getting cars, you have to be in a country for 6 months before any banks will offer you financing options. Another option that you could do, and that's what also we did originally, is we bought a crappy old car with whatever money we had. Another thing you could do just after arriving is to go for a long-term lease. So in that case, you're renting the car basically, you're not owning the car, and you don't end up owning the car, but you pay as much as if you were like a car loan. Those are usually in the range of 3,000 to 4,000 per month. And of course, if you were to finance a new car, that would be much more than that, up in the 5,000-6,000 per month range. If you read the news, you might be under the illusion that in Scandinavia everybody drives electric cars. First of all, that's not true. About only 30% of all sold new cars are electric, and only roughly 10% of the cars on the roads are electric. The second thing is our use case. I'm driving 1,500 kilometers in one day, and I do that 3 to 4 times per year, 6 to 8 times, because there and back it's 1,500 there and 1,500 back. So that's already a pretty long day, almost impossible even with a petrol car. Now, if I had to wait 3 times 1 hour to recharge the battery, that would make my journey from a difficult one to an impossible one. So for our use case, it's simply not feasible. I would be interested in buying a plug-in hybrid. That would be great for commuting to work on a battery, but while still having the long range that I kind of need. As for what's available on the market right now, this is what we could afford, and this is what we're comfortable with. The other thing is the finances. If you buy an electric car, of course you save some on the electricity versus the petrol cost, so that's great. But still, they are so freaking expensive that if you do the numbers, you're better off money-wise operating one of these. I'm skeptical about the battery electric. I think that Power-to-X and synthetic fuels are going to be much better and much more feasible, and I hope they will come in the next couple of years and they will become a reality. So that was Beyond Cloudbase for today. Thank you for joining. My name is Gustav. I'll see you in the next video.